Hey guys, my name is Christian. I'm the developer here at WP Made. So I wanted to make a tutorial regarding a card slider, how we can create something like this within Bricks Builder. This was created by inspiration from our own slider, WP Made that design. A lot of people have been asking us how we created this amazing card slider within Bricks Builder, how it is able to change the content based on the slide. So I've decided to recreate a slider but in a different layout, but having the same effect. We will have the navigation right here as well, and based on the dynamic content of the slide, the content on the left changes, and yeah, you can navigate as well through these arrows. So yeah, this is pretty simple tutorial. So let's go ahead and open a new environment. This is a new LocalWP environment. I only have one plugin installed, which is Scripts Organizer. This is pretty much a WP Codebox alternative. You can use something like code snippets or fluent snippets, which are really awesome free plugins. You don't have to use Scripts Organizer. So yeah, if you don't want to use a code snippets manager, just go ahead and use something like a child theme. For me, a scripts organizer allows me to manage my scripts very easily, so that's why I like to use it. Okay, let's go ahead right now and create a structure first for the slider. We will go into edit with bricks. To create this slider, basically we have to have a side-by-side layout, which is a section, container, and two boxes. One is the swiper or the slider, and the other one is the content. So let me go back to the builder. We will add section. We will add right here blocks. I will use just the default elements, so it's easier for you to follow. We'll need two blocks. This would be our content, and this would be our swiper. Swiper is the library we are going to use to create the slider. This is the library. It's a default library Bricks is using for their default slider, not the nested one. But because the options are limited within that element, we are going to use an external JS to create this slider. So if we go back to Bricks Builder, we'll name this swiper and this content. Right here we need, I would say, two headings. This would be the tagline, this would be the text. We need text, and we need two buttons for the navigation. The stylings for these buttons are not set, so I have everything set to default, so feel free to style them however you like. I will just change them to be dark and to be outline. This would be the previous button, this would be the next button. Yeah, let's just set an icon. I will use Themify. I'll set up an icon for right and an icon for left. Themify left icon. So let's remove the label, and we have the buttons right here. Let's wrap them in a div, so, or a block, whatever you like. Let's do block. So yeah, button wrap. This will be our navigation, so let's name it navigation. Sorry for the mistake. Yeah, so why this is broken? Yeah, maybe the arrow got removed. Okay, so in swiper right here, we have to add the slider, but before we do that, let's add some content for the content section block. So let's go back to this example. Let's add a tagline, let's add a title, let's make this an H2, and for the text let's add some kind of content. So let's make this an H6, and that's pretty much it regarding the content right here. So how the swiper works, let me go to the swiper side. we'll go to getting started with Swiper. So Swiper has a predefined structure that it wants us to use. So what we have to have is we have to have a div for Swiper, a div for Swiper wrapper, and a separate div for a Swiper slide. So let's go back to the bricks builder and let's create that structure. Let's add right here a block. This would be our wrapper, and let's add a block which would be our slide. So right now we have the structure that a Swiper requires us to have. And let's add an image. So because in our example design we have a few images right here, let's add an image. Let's add this beautiful girl. And right now the next step is for us to add the classes, because if we want to scale this, to make this scalable, we have to use classes. I will start by naming this. Let's just name it our showcase. Copy the class, and yeah, add every class to. I will use BAME naming, by the way. If you use something in the ACSS or Advanced Theme, I'm pretty sure they have auto BAME naming, so this will add some feature. But for us, which we don't have those plugins, we will use the standard class manager and add the classes right here. So yeah, this would be our showcase container. By the way, I will be pressing Command plus Enter, which will open up this class window for me to add classes faster. So yeah, let's add this to our showcase tagline, our showcase heading, our showcase text, our showcase navigation. I will copy that class and just add this standard class to both of the buttons in case we want to style them later on. For the Swiper, we will add. Let's make this a slide, not a Swiper. So this will be the wrapper. This would be the slide. By the way, the class namings at the moment they are not really important, so you can name them however you like. I will tell you when it's important regarding the slider initialization. We will have to have the Swiper class, the default one from Swiper. I suggested inside this tutorial, this one. But for now, for the main brick styling, you can name the classes however you like. So let's go to this container. And let's set the direction to be horizontal. Let's add a gap of 16 rem. This is 16 rem is basically 160 pixels within bricks. I'm using rem because it's better for accessibility. That's what I've heard. So I will stick with rem. You can use pixels, whatever you feel comfortable with. So yeah, let's make the navigation horizontal as well. Add 8 pixels of gap. Let's select this text and let's add some margin bottom and top to space the content really well. For this tagline, because I don't use any library at the moment, I will just tile it to be 20 pixels or 2 in font size and in font width 400 width. So yeah, let's go back to the container, and right now I will just align everything to be centered, and I will add just a margin on the top, or you can use padding if you want. So yeah, let's add a margin right here. Let's add a margin right here, and that's pretty much it. Let's go right down to the image, and to the image what we're going to do is set up 100% width and height and a maximum height of 6 rem, which is 600 pixels. And yeah, we will go back to the content. Because the image right now is squished, we will make this objective color to make it look a bit better. I will add the border radius to make it look more modern. And yeah, the image looks really awesome at the moment, as you can see. By the way, as you can see, the buttons right now look pretty odd because they are not centered, the icons. This is only happening within Bricks Builder, so if we go to the front end, the buttons should look pretty great, as you can see. By the way, let's add a cursor to this button. If we type cursor right here, let's add pointer so they're more accessible. Yeah, and the user experience is much better when you have a cursor instead of just showing the normal in macOS or OS cursor. As you can see, we have the structure right now. So to initialize this slider, what we need to do is enqueue the slider. So what is basically Bricks, since Bricks is using the swiper in the default slider element, we don't have to register the swiper, we only have to enqueue it. So yeah, as I said, we have to enqueue the swiper. So right now what we have to do, let me go to my clipboard and write enqueue. Yeah, I have this PHP code right here. You can just retype it. This is pretty simple function, and this enqueues the Swiper.js library on the front end. Let me go ahead and save this one. But the swiper right now, if I go back to, my, no, we should write this inside the PHP file, not inside the JS. So yeah, that's my mistake, not in team functions. Let me go back to team showcodes function. Yeah, this is alright. Let me write the code right here and go back to scripts. And right now, if I go back to the front end, the swiper won't be initialized. That's only to load the library on the front end. So we go back and refresh and write the swiper. We should have the Swiper.js and Swiper.css file enqueued on the front end, which means we have the swiper library loaded. So to initialize this slider, what I'm going to do is I will use Bricks interactions with custom JS function. The reason I like to use it like that is because I like to use Bricks interaction whenever possible, and only in certain cases to write custom JS. And plus, it gives us an ability to initialize the swiper only when we call it from the Bricks Builder interactions. So yeah, let me go back to the editor. Right now we will go to the Bricks Builder slide. And right here we will go to Bricks interaction, add a new interaction, and we'll make this one to be called on content load. So if we go to JavaScript function as an action, we should call the function right here. I will call this init cards slider. Card slider, yeah, let's call it like that. And we will add arguments. Arguments are a way to pass some values into JavaScript. This is passing the Bricks element itself as a value into JavaScript. It's a really great way because we will say in JavaScript, just make this. So yeah, let me just go ahead and delete this one. Just make this slider a swiper slider. So yeah, I made a mistake. I didn't the interaction on the slide, not on the slider itself. So yeah, let me repeat the function in the slider and add the arguments itself. So right now we'll go to the code editor, and if we write init card slider, and the arguments will be passed right here. You can call this argument whatever you like. There is no right or wrong naming, so I just will use the standard Bricks naming convention. So right now, if I refresh, you should be able to see an object which has three sources: the source, target, and targets. We will need a target to initialize the swiper slider. So let me go back right now to the Swiper documentation. The Swiper documentation, how it works right now is in a way, this is the npm version. We need the CDN version, which is this one. How it works, you have to call Swiper. Let me just see. Yeah, you just have to initialize Swiper by the element class. So what we're seeing right now is initialize Swiper using this method right here. So let me copy this code right here. We go copy the whole code, the constant as well. Go back. Let's go back to the code editor, and yeah, this will initialize our Swiper. But once we save, this won't work. The reason being is because we don't have the Swiper classes as we talked about. So as you can see, this structure, we have the Swiper Wiper, and Swiper slide classes right here. So what we're going to do right now is go back to the Bricks editor and add these classes to these elements. But I don't want these classes to be accessible in the CSS variable and class manager, as seen right here. So what I'm going to do right now is to add the classes through the CSS tab and add the class right here. This will make the class function as usual, but it won't be showing up in the class editor. So yeah, this will be Swiper Wiper, and this will be the Swiper slide. And if we save this, we should have a functioning slider, which looks really odd. The reason being is because we have some, because we have the direction of vertical, which we don't want. We can delete this one. The default one is horizontal, so we don't have to have that one. Let's leave navigation for now, because we'll need to select the buttons we have in the slide. So for now, let me refresh. Yeah, we have this slider working, but not working as it should. So what's happening? Swiper requires us to have a predefined width. So basically right now, Swiper is taking over the parent width of the container, which is 1200 pixels. So in order to work in this layout, we have to have a width set up to this block. So let me go back to the layout and set width of 40%, and I will go back to mobile landscape and set of 100%, so it expands it fills the full screen on mobile devices. And right now, if we go back to the front end, yeah, Swiper should be working, not fully, because we don't have more slides. Let me try to add more slides and see what happens. Duplicate the slides. As you can see now, the slide is working. It looks really odd because we are using the default slider, which is just a few slides. Don't have any overflow set, and yeah. So yeah, let's make this a card slider. So whenever you want to extend the Swiper.js slider, just go ahead and follow their API, their docs right here. And if you go back to these modules, or whatever you call them, or parameters, you have a lot of options to extend the slider, such as breakpoints. This provides us the ability to set breakpoints for the slider, to have the slides showing responsively per device. You have the cards effect. This is the effect we are going to use. So this is the cards effect. It's pretty simple one. So if we write this effect, our slides will become cards. So let me refresh. As you can see, we have the effect working just by typing that. So whenever you want to extend Swiper, just go ahead and follow the documentation. It's pretty simple and it's pretty minimal, so you don't have to worry about anything. I believe anyone can go ahead and use this as a guide, or you can use something as you can use something as ChatGPT and just provide the Swiper URL as context, and it will write your code. So the cards effect have few options. We have the option, for example, for rotation and for slide shadows. We also have a per slide offset. Let me see if we can find it. Yeah, per slide offset, per slide rotation. So yeah, we have really pretty cool options. Let me go right now, and if we type right here, cards effect, and yeah, place this in an object right here. We will write per slide rotate and set this to 0. What will this do? And this will make the slides have 0 rotation right now, because they look right now they look like basically like cards. But if you set it to 0, the cards now should be more proportional. And we also have an offset. Offset is a really great way to add, basically to spread out the cards to be more visible. Let me just retype that. Per slide offset. Yeah, as you can see right now, the cards are spreading out much better. This is too much in my case, so I will set it to something like 12. Let's save an update, and this is much better. As you can see, this is pretty easy way to initialize a slider. So what's wrong with this method right now? This method is initializing a slider on every element which has this swiper class. This is a really bad way, because if we have multiple sliders on one page, they all will be initialized. So if we don't want that, we shouldn't use this as a method. So we're going to use this bricks argument, which we passed earlier. So as I've told you, this is passing the object. We need from the object the target. The target is always, if I go to console, the target is always the main element which has the interaction. So as you can see, the main element at the moment that has the interaction is the swiper slider. So we have to so this is perfect, because we will initialize the slider only on that element which has the interaction. So right now we'll replace this with this one. It should work the same, just makes it more scalable. So in the future cases, if we have multiple sliders, we can create a different function right here, such as init, I'm not sure, cover full slider or whatever else you want, and they won't collide between each other. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So right now, what we want to do is to make this content fully dynamic, and also make these buttons accessible. I want them to function as they should. Once we click one of the buttons, the slides to rotate. So what we have to do right now, let's make the buttons first, because we already have the navigation right here. So the next element and previous element is for, yeah, it's really explanatory by themselves. So this is for the next button, and this is for the previous button. So we can add these two classes, or we can just add custom classes so they don't collide with existing elements on the page. So let's go back to our builder. Let's go, because right now we have a btn right here, showcase navigation dash btn. I will add again another class right here. I'll click on this button, so it's tied to that button. This would be our previous button. So yeah, I'm not sure that will work, because both of the buttons will have the same class, which is it's not what we want. So yeah, let's just go ahead and copy this. And what we're going to do right now is deselect this one and just add double dash, and then this will be perfect. And this one will be next. So that's how we will select them. So this is our first button, and this is our next button. And if we save, go back to the front end, the buttons should work pretty great. But as you can see right now, because our slider, the slider is set to loop. Let's set it to not loop. I want the cards to end, so we'll set this to false. Again, you can learn more about these options on the Swiper documentation. So right now, this should stop basically once we reach the end. But as you can see right now, I want the buttons to be disabled, basically if we can't loop anymore. So let me go to the, let me go to the first slide. And if I go to this slide, right here you should see this class, Swiper button disabled. This class is set dynamically by Swiper when there is no option to go back. So basically, if you're on the first slide, we can go back. If we're on the last slide, we can go forward. So we will always see that class. So what we want to do right now is go to the builder right here, press on this, the main navigation class, so it affects both of the buttons. Write it as a compo class right here, and just make this basically pointer and pointer events none, so the button can be selected if there is no way to go. As you can see right now, I'm not able to select the button. If I press the next slide, I can select this button. If I press on the next slide and we reach the end, we can select the button. So that's pretty awesome. So how will do the content right now to change the content based on the slides? So what we need to do right now is just go back to Home Builder, and right now once we go back, we can do this using dynamic method, using custom post type and custom fields, but because I don't want to do that right now, we will do that using data attributes. So if you go to attributes right here and write data title and a value of some cool title, this is pretty odd, but you can name it however you like. And data text, because we want to change text as well, and just write some lorem ipsum right here. We have a data attributes accessible on the front end, but this is really weird way to manage the content population of the cards. So yeah, every time we go to attributes just to change this would be pretty odd. So what we're going to do is delete these slides and turn this slide into a component and name this card slide. Let's name this card slide, and we will go right now back to the properties. I think it was, we will create a property for the image. Yes, let me select the default image to be this one. We'll select text, I will name this title, and again text, and I will just have this as text. Let's set a lorem ipsum 30 words, I think. Predefined text right here, and let's set this as a main title text. I haven't saved the text one. Okay, this is the default value for the title and for the text, which I didn't save. Let me go back to my clipboard. I think I have this right here. So then this will be our default value for our text. So right now, if we go back to the main, if I exit the component, I have this slide, which I'm not sure. Okay, it doesn't have the properties connected. So what we have to do right now is connect these properties. We'll connect this image right here. Image. We chose nothing, but I believe we set an image as default. So maybe we didn't save. So let me go back and save. By the way, I'm speeding up through this tutorial because I don't want it to be 1 hour long. We are already at 30 minutes. So if I'm speeding up really fast, be sure to let me down in the comments. So for the next time, I will move much slower. So yeah, let's go back to the card slide and go back to attributes right now, and we will set these attributes as dynamic. This will be the title, and this would be the data text. Go back to exit the component. As you can see right now, we have this as dynamic values. So let me just duplicate the slides. Let me just make this, just add a different photo right here. Go back to the front end. As you can see right now, we have 3 different images. Let me go back. So let me populate the content. So basically, right now, let me just name this title 02. This would be second title, and this would be content 02. I will just name them like this, so you can see how this would work. But yeah, make sure you add real content so this looks better. So right now this won't work. As you can see, the content stays still. So in order for this to work, we have to use a method. Swiper has a method called a slide change. So basically what we are doing right now, we have to select the swiper. As said earlier, just whenever you want to expand Swiper, just go ahead and follow their documentation. It's pretty well made, so you will learn a lot from there. And also ask AI. AI will also assist you if you want to do some crazy functionality. Swiper.js is one of the most used library on the internet, so it can be extendable. Yeah, it can be extend a lot, so ChatGPT probably will be able to assist you because it already has a lot of documentation about it. So yeah, Swiper, we have to use this method, which is a slide change, and this we will use a standard function inside this method. And so what we want to do right now is we want to select the current slide, which would be the the swiper. We will select this constant, and then we will select the slides. In slides, we want to select swiper active index. What this means is we want to select the current slide. So basically, every time we slide, this is the current active index of the slide. So every time this swiper change and this has an active index, we want to change the content. So next, what we want to do is just get the active index of the current active slide. This is our active slide because we already got it from here. So what we want to do right now is we want to get the title from that active slide, which would be the slide that get attribute title. And the same for the text. This would be the text. And this should work pretty great, so let's test it out and see if it works or if it doesn't. Title and text. Let me check out. Let me go back to the console, let me refresh before doing anything, and yeah, this is null. But it's awesome because this works. As you can see, this works really great. So let's see what we're doing wrong. Maybe the get attribute is attribute. Yeah, this is correctly spelled. So title, text, swiper, slides, swiper, active index. Let me console the slide and see what happens if we are able to pull the slide. Yeah, we're able to pull the slide. Data text, data title. We have those two things right here. So that's really odd, by the way, because we're not able to get those. Let me test it like this and see if this gets the title. So what I believe we are missing is the data before the value, because we have it set as a data title and data text. So right now this should work. Let me just test it out. As you can see, this is working awesome. So what we have to do right now is just swipe the content right here. So to swipe the content right there, we just have to select these two elements, this one and this one. So how do we select those ones? We can use the document query selector and use this class, because it's our showcase the double dash text, 100 dashes, sorry, text. So what we have to do is just run this query selector our showcase text content equals to text. This will change our text, and this should be able to change our title, save and refresh, and it's not working. Set properties of null text content. So set properties of null text content. Okay, so let's just add a double quotation mark. What this does, this is checking if there is no attribute data title or data text, just return nothing. So this will provide us a safe way for the values not to return an error in JS. So the text content is null. So basically we're not getting the proper, so we're not getting the proper element right here. That's what it's saying. So yeah, I believe this was the heading or title. Yeah, I believe that class was heading. Yeah, it was heading. As you can see right now, the content dynamically is being changed from the slides values. So yeah, you can add as many slides as you want. You can change the content right here, and you can have a dynamic slider. You can use the sliders for something like testimonials. You can use it for team members or whatever you like. So, or you can extend it to work in a way we have it on our WP meta design, just like this one. So right here we are just changing the title, the author name, we are changing plugins, and yeah, we are also changing the value of the active slide. So that's really awesome. So that's it, guys. That's it from me. If you like this tutorial, if you would like us to create more tutorials such as this one, be sure to let me know down in the comments. Write also what kind of tutorial would you like us to create next. So that's it. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.